Hey y'all, what's up? So, I've just been in this like really funny mood. And why I say that is because we get we look at society. So, when I look at society, when I look at, certain things in life, have conversations with certain people, or just hear certain things that are going on in the world, it cracks me up in a sense because it's like we complain about a lot of shit. like like especially like the ones when we live in, the United States, Americans. And it's so funny. It's so funny and it's so goofy cuz I get why we complain. I get like the bullshit. I get a lot of things, right? Yet at the same time, I've in a sense figured out a way for myself, from my journey, for how I see the world, to continue to push through the bullshit, to not necessarily complain, but understand there's going to be some ups and downs, certain struggles, and most of those are like in the past. I've overcome a lot of fucking obstacles, but it's because I've had this mindset to where it's like I'm gonna figure this shit out. I don't know exactly how, I don't know when, but I'm gonna figure this shit out. And I laugh because it's like I'm like I've I've pretty much figured it out in a sense where it's like it's right in front of our faces, right? It's like you get to this point in your life where you become whatever you want to call it. There's so many different terminologies, words that we can use. Let me take my awesome glasses off right now. But there's certain words and terminologies that we can use to, understand it for how we understand it. Whether you're more conscious, whether you're more self-aware, whether you're more awakened, whatever, right? Because you could be like more spiritualistic, more witchy, more on that side of things where you're really into like the deep dark web type vibe, right? The unseen. Or you can be more logical about it. Me, I consider myself both. I'm very witchy, I'm very spiritual. I love that sage, I love that incense. I love talking to my spirit guides and taking my spiritual baths. But I'm also very, depending what environment I'm in, or how I come across, like my outfit. Like some people may be like, oh, you're that type of bitch, and it's like, what does that even mean? Right? And it's funny. It's funny because me, I like nice things. I like fancy things, but that doesn't mean like I'm gonna go spend $1,000 on a whole outfit. Like this whole outfit, less than $20. I'll just say that. But it's hilarious that we and I it's hilarious for me now because I've been through it. I've experienced it and I've gotten to this point where I understand why it's hilarious. Because it's like you have to go through it. You have to grow through it to go through it, right? You have to understand, you have to get a place to in your life where you recognize all of this. And when you're complaining, when you're in this like just low vibrational energy, when you're just like, I hate this is happening to us, like they lied to us, shit like that. It's like I get it, I get it. And it's like I want to say empathy or sympathy for these people, but at the same time it's like it's like I know with my experience, I know it's possible to, rig the system. And not in a bad way, right? Because you can get into the criminal mindset of it all, right? But you can also do it in a way where it works out in your favor, where you're not doing anything shady or corrupt or bad. Because there's points in your life where you feel like that's what you have to do to get to the top, to get to a point in your life where you feel like you can chill, where you can relax, where you can like just breathe, where you don't feel like you're overworking yourself. in me, I feel like I've gotten to that point in my life where I can chill, I can breathe, I can relax. And it's just continuing to get better. But it's because I've had to understand it for how I understand it. I had to put in certain works. And even if I like share every detail, that's not necessarily going to help somebody else. That's not necessarily going to show somebody how to do it, right? Because we can create programs, we can create a way of, you know, showing people how to become successful. And there's tons of books, there's tons of influencers that share their story, me, you know, included. There's tons of just so many people. I mean, we look at celebrities, we look at, you know, actors, we look at just people, successful people, and we look at them at a certain way, and where they've told us, you know, this is how it is. Yet people are still in the mindset of, well, that's them. Well, yeah, of course it's them. You know, well, I can't do that. Well, if you believe that, then you can't do that. And I talk about this a lot because that's really what it is, yo. Like, you can hear my story. I can share, like, the details of all the bullshit I went through, all the bullshit that I allowed. But at the same time, it's like I took a responsibility. It was me who decided to fucking take back my power, take control of my life, and change my reality. It was nobody else. There's people that came into my life that may have like triggered that to happen, because that's, you know, everything happens for a reason, right? But at the same time, like, I could have stayed in that environment. I could have stayed with those people. I could have stayed connected to them. You know, I could have stayed in that mindset. All of these things. You know, it was my choice to change. At the end of the day, I was ready. Mentally, I was ready. And that's what it is, y'all. You gotta be mentally ready. And maybe not exactly mentally ready, because, you know, one day you could be mentally ready and the next day you're like, oh, fuck. But that's the thing. Every day is different. Every day is new. Every day is a chance. And not just every day, every moment. You could start right now. I know here it's like 2 something in the afternoon. And you could be like, you know what? Today's that day, right? Because somewhere else it could be like 6 a.m. in the morning kind of thing. So that's how I look at it. And that's how I feel others need to start looking at it. And it can be hard because you're surrounded by so many different distractions and all these things. But that's just an excuse that we're using. Well, I don't have enough time. Well, I have, you know, my family. I have this. I have that. Like, okay, cut the bullshit. Like, if you really want to change, you're gonna have your family support you in a way. And even if they don't, you're still you're in a place in your life where you're gonna make it happen. You're gonna make it fucking happen. If you need some motivation, go up, check my song out, No Limits, okay? Make it happen like a magic, because I know my source is bold. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about my source within. God lives within me, okay? The power of God is within me. And I'm using that feel. I've used that feel. I've had to understand that feel, that fire, you know, that strength, that energy within myself, that fucking resilience, okay? Okay? Do you hear me? This is just some tough, sometimes you really, and I don't like to use the word tough love, because love is love in itself. And we can look at love and we can perceive love in different ways. Some people are in toxic fucking relationships and they think that's love, right? And some people are in just very happily beautiful relationships and they consider that love, right? And so it really just depends on how you perceive love. And for me, it's just like, the best love is love for yourself. Love is reflecting on yourself, respecting yourself, knowing that you deserve the best for yourself, however that may be, wherever you are on your journey, whether you have, you know, family, whether you don't have family, whatever you have currently, okay, is just really knowing that you want to make some kind of change within yourself. Instead of complaining, instead of focusing on the bullshit, instead of focusing on why the government's after you, instead of focusing on all these fucked up things that are going on in your life, because they're going on for a reason. You may not want to accept it or just understand it, and you may not understand it right now, and you may understand it. Because now, times for me now, when there's something shitty going on, or if there's something, that's not really working well, in a sense, it's just it's kind of off. I tend to understand why, right? And I reflect on it. I take responsibility for it, especially if it was, me who created it, because at the end of the day, we create our reality, okay? So it's that kind of thing. It's really just tuning into yourself and taking responsibility for your own bullshit. Because you really can't control anybody else's bullshit. And that's what I mean by really we want to blame everybody else. We want to blame the government. We want to blame, our job. We want to blame other people. We want to blame whatever is outside of us. We want to blame the fucking weather sometimes, okay? Stop blaming the weather. That weather is supposed to be here. Okay, it's supposed to be sunny outside today. And if it's snowing outside, it's supposed to be snowing outside today. Okay, let that snow rain. Okay? So this is your daily wisdom and shit, okay? Because y'all, I love y'all. I love people in general. But what I don't love is when people make excuses for something they can change. And I don't like when people keep complaining about it, going over and over and over and over and over again. It's okay, do something about it. Stop complaining about it. Because even myself, I've had to be why is this always happening to me? And there's nothing wrong with reflecting on certain things to help you get to the next point in your life. But I think there's a point in your life where you really don't need to talk about it anymore. Especially if you've healed from it. Especially if you've, overcome it. Right? And for me, there's certain times where I have to realize about myself, because I'll especially with my my journey, my weight loss, certain things that I've been through, and usually it only comes up when people mention certain things. And I also it also comes up to where it's I recognize the fact that certain things from my past are connected to my present or connected to my future, kind of thing. So it's almost when I create content or when I create videos or whatnot, it's kind of a fun way of just sharing, a part of my journey, a part of my story. But it's also understanding that I'm not there anymore. I'm, 10 feet forward, or whatever you want to, however you want to say it. I'm so in a place now where it's I don't have to go back to my past to really talk about it too much. I don't have to understand why all these things happen. And then there's still some things in my life that kind of are oh, it kind of triggers a memory of something that I totally forgot from my past, to where it helps me understand why I'm where I'm at or whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, what I'm really talking about is when you're complaining about something that is really out of your control. You're complaining about shit that is it will why are you it's the fact that you're living your life, you're doing your thing, but you're complaining about what's on the news. You're complaining about these political things. You're complaining about stuff that really doesn't fit within your lifestyle. And maybe it does, but it's you're doing it over and over and over again, right? You're staying in that same mentality, that same mindset. It's with It's like a job, right? You go to this job that you hate and you've been going to it for years, and you've had several opportunities to where you could take a chance to, find a new job, or, look into new jobs, or really discover what you really want to do instead of staying at this one job that you fucking hate. But yet you go and complain about it to all your friends, your family, the people, yada, 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 and they're kind of giving you advice, and but you don't take it. It's that kind of thing that I'm talking about. We talk about how, like, even like with race, right? As a mixed person, like, I come across so many people who will be like, oh, you're not black, or you don't seem like a black person, oh, like, you're this, you're that, right? And it's like, well, I have a mixture of different, races within myself. Maybe that's why I'm that hybrid bitch, okay? But at the same time, people set a label on themselves and be like, well, I'm black and this is why I get treated the way I get treated. First of all, let me tell you, baby. Let me tell you, I get it. I was raised with, my whole family was white. I grew up in Wyoming, okay? I was looked at as, I won't go into that story because it to me, it doesn't, it's like, it happened. It was an experience. But I learned it happened for me. It happened for me to realize that, it doesn't matter your race in a sense, because we're all beautiful. We're all human beings. We all, we've been conditioned to believe that we've been divided, that we are less than a certain type of people. Whether you look at it with your race, your body size, your political views, all that, it's just bullshit. And so that's where it's like, you got to step away from them labels. You got to detach yourself from society, right? In a sense, to where you got to understand yourself. Because if you keep holding on to the fact that, oh, well, I'm black, and this is why I get treated this way. It's like, okay, I get it. I get that you're black. I see that you're a beautiful melanin blackness, black, caramel, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, you probably have other DNA mixtures within you, and that's what I had to learn. I was taught that I was white and black, but baby, I'm African Caribbean and European and Asian and Middle Eastern, and I'm all of it. I'm all of it, and I've accepted it. I love it. I've learned, I'm learning about all the different cultures and just understanding it to be proud of it, because like, people want to, like, come at you, and it's really just a reflection of themselves. But at the end of the day, don't allow other people's opinions, like what's going on in the world, and just the bullshit, right? Don't allow that to hold you back, to limit yourself, to not live your best fucking life, because, like, why? And that's what I've had to understand for myself. Like, I'm not a millionaire. That's the goal, and that's why I keep telling myself, I'm mentally. So I do a lot of subliminals, frequency sounds, to have the mindset to believe that I have the rich bitch energy, because it is energy, and it's the mindset of coming in to becoming that millionaire, becoming that celebrity, becoming, the things that you want to work on for yourself, even if it's not becoming a millionaire, just to be successful in your life. I believe I'm very successful in my life, and what success means to me is that I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm happy. I'm happy. I have a roof over my head. I'm able to, go do the things I love. I'm able to, be at peace with myself. Sometimes we look at success as a status, like we have to have that title, we have to have that car, we have to have all these different things. which is great, right? Because we live in a materialistic world, baby, okay? So it's like you can look good on the outside, but really what matters is what comes on, what's on the inside, right? What's on the inside? Because you could dress the part, you could look the part, but you're really not embodying the energy, the part, right? And that's what I had to learn for myself. And so it's really, fuck the outside in a sense, fuck what's going on, the distractions, other people's opinions. Don't allow that to limit you. Don't allow that to hold you back from what you truly love. Whether it's being ashamed of certain things, how you express yourself, your music. My music, there's a lot of people that told me like I was never gonna, do good with my music, all these things. And I was like, you know what? That's their opinion. And I've had to realize that, I'm very talented. I'm uniquely me in my own way, how I express myself, whether it's through my music, whether it's through my style, okay? Whatever it may be through. How I talk, how I speak, how I think, all those things. And so that's what I'm getting at, y'all. Stop complaining. Stop playing the victim. Stop creating this world where you can't. And just know you can. It's all a part of the process, the journey. And it takes time. Because there's certain things, like you can choose your job. You can choose what kind of field career, what you want to do for yourself. And that takes time in itself too. You can choose how you want to look, whether it's through surgery or not. Okay, we live in a very abundant world. We live in a world where it's like, do whatever, do whatever you want to do that works for you, that fits your narrative, that fits your life, as long as you're not doing it for other people or somebody else, right? And so I'm already getting tired talking about that shit. And so that is my little wisdom and shit for today. I really hope you enjoyed this message. If not, it's okay. Maybe one day you'll look back and be like, man, she was right. Bitch, yeah. Bye.